Hello beautiful creatures, welcome back to Of Crafts and Curios. Can you believe we're already up to the 6th installment in my Southern Hemisphere Wheel of the Year series? This year is just flying by so fast. If you don't already know, as a practicing witch, I use dollcraft as a way to celebrate the turning of the wheel, and I like to create an altar doll to celebrate each Sabbat. As it is September, which means spring here in New Zealand, today I will be showing you all how I made my Ostara altar doll for the upcoming spring equinox. Once again, a little friendly reminder that because New Zealand is below the equator line, our seasons are reversed, and I know a lot of you who watch my channel are in the Northern Hemisphere preparing for Mabon and autumn and Halloween, but because honouring the wheel is all about attunement to the natural flow of the seasons, our Sabbats are reversed in New Zealand as our seasons are reversed. Ostara falls upon the spring equinox meaning equal night, so it is the time of the year in which day and night have equal rule. In New Zealand, this is the time of year where flowers are blooming, namely the beautiful yellow daffodils, and lavender is also beginning to show herself too. As I begin to prep my doll using my usual methods, I want to talk a little bit about Ostara. Ostara is a celebration that sort of signifies all things renewal, balance, fertility. It is the time of the cycle which falls under the maiden. Therefore, there is a youthful energy to spring, a whimsical hopefulness for the summer to come, and a romantic re-emergence into the world after a long and harsh winter. Because of these themes, I'm going to be creating a very youthful doll. Big round eyes, long free hair, playful expression. And when setting my intentions with altar dolls, I want to basically iconify the energy of the Sabbat into the doll. Or at least that's the plan. And I can hear you all thinking, but wait, why aren't you making the goddess Ostara? You know, the one mentioned by the 8th century Guy Bede? Well, Ostara, with no pun intended, is sort of a chicken or the egg Sabbat. What I mean by that is there's a lot of evidence and a lot of factual accounts which we can clearly see a link between the conversion of pagan celebrations and deity worship into what is now celebrated en masse as Christian holidays for many of the Sabbats, such as Samhain, aka Halloween, for example. But for Ostara, the historical accounts are a little murkier. There is a lot less mythology related to the goddess Ostara, which can be considered the namesake for modern-day Easter. But there are huge gaps in the historical account relating to this goddess, at least up until this point in the literature. So it's a little less clear about the origin of modern-day Ostara and its connection to the past. What we do know, however, is that the equinoxes and the turning of the seasons have always been celebrated by communities across time, regardless of their connection to a deity for worship. And that's an important disclaimer to remember about practicing witchcraft, is that there's no correct way to do it. There is no hegemony of belief, and therefore you can choose to celebrate Ostara however feels fit, regardless of whether you celebrate a deity or not. And this brings us to the super important part of my little doll creation. Time to do my face up. I did a quick reroute with this gorgeous kind of honey golden blonde that reminds me of the sunrise. Ostara is often translated to the east where the sun rises, and so I wanted to do a beautiful sunny blonde color and then kind of bring a really soft youthful expression to my doll that captures the young feminine energy that spring has. And with the addition of some adorable little freckles, her face up will be complete. I really like how soft and youthful the face sculpt is of this Ever After High doll. I think she looks super young and fresh, and it's just so cute, and I love the blonde hair. And so with her look completed thus far, it's time to move on to her outfit. With any altar doll or puppet magic, colors are really important to signify and channel energy, and so I'm using this beautiful floral fabric that has 4 colors related to Ostara that are quite meaningful. There is white, which connects to childhood and cleansing and innocence. Yellow, that is related to attraction and joy and vitality. Light blue for calmness and understanding. And green, of course, for abundance, fertility, and growth. So I simply cut out my pattern and sewed it together. I added a little lace inset that looks so cute. And then using some embroidery thread and ribbon, I added some extra details before going ahead and sewing the dress up. So at this point, I began to think, okay, it's September, it's not exactly warm enough for a sleeveless dress. What can I add to her outfit that is going to tie it back into this seasonal time? So I tried a few things. I left the hem raw because I wanted it to look like she was running through fields and being playful. And I made this little overcoat out of the same fabric, and it's cute, I'll admit, but at this point I was still not sure, so I moved on to making her little springtime flower crown using these little dried flowers that a friend of mine gave me. You can see them in my studio, they're behind the doll, and this wire that is kind of what's the right word, mossed maybe, and I made this cute little crown by sticking the tiny little flowers that are dried onto the wire. So with the flower crown complete, I knew the overcoat was not the right energy to go for with this little outfit, so I began to think maybe I needed to add sleeves. Now, adding sleeves to a completed dress is not easy, so I decided an off-the-shoulder kind of boho floaty sleeve was going to be my only option, as it would be easy to attach to the finished dress. And I think this look is so beautiful, and I'm really happy that I did it. It kind of has a For Love and Lemons Love Shack fancy kind of energy to it. So with the outfit complete, it's time to focus on her hair. It is beautiful just floating around and being all unkempt, but I did want to do something a little special to, one, help the crown stay on, and two, just kind of bring some more design to her hair. So I did a little fishtail braid in the back. I think this is super cute. I love fishtail braids on myself, so I think this is a great little hairstyle. And now, because all my Sabbat dolls have an accessory to kind of sum up the Sabbat they represent, it's time to think about her accessory. I knew I was going to make a basket because springtime to me makes me think about picnics in the park, and so I made a cute little picnic basket with a little matching throw that matches her dress inside of it, and I used this cool yarn that has leaves weaved through it. To fill the basket, I'm using some pressed flowers that I have from last spring. My flowers from this spring that I'm pressing are not obviously ready yet, so I filled the basket with those, and then I had to have the conversation with myself that there's no better accessory for Ostara than an egg, and I really didn't want to make them. I just couldn't be bothered. It's locked down here and we're in level 4, and I just was like, oh, I so don't want to make eggs, but I did. I persevered, and I got my polymer clay out and I made some tiny little eggs. Eggs are a great symbol for Ostara as much as they are for Easter, because they symbolize fertility and birth, and that's what spring is all about. So I can definitely get on board with their relationship to spring, the spring equinox, and Ostara. Surprisingly, making an egg shape out of polymer clay was really hard. I don't know if it was because I wasn't, 100% in the project, but I made some little eggs and I painted a couple of them. Very Eastery, I know, but I thought that was just a fun, cute little element to add. And then I added them into her little basket and my Ostara doll was complete. And here is the final doll. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something about Ostara maybe. Perhaps you could teach me something about Ostara in the comments below. I am so happy with how this doll turned out. Through the process, I wasn't necessarily sold on her. I did think about redoing her face several times, but I'm so happy with how she turned out. I love her little dress and her little eggs. Oh, so cute. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do leave me a like and a comment down below. If you are new here and want to learn more about dolls or witchcraft, do hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'll be back here real soon with more crafts and more curios.